Hi, my name is Chris, and I recently bought the Supernote A6X. And in making that purchase, I want to talk about the reasons why I didn't pick the other ones. And I think that's something that maybe a lot of people can relate to as they're trying to figure out which tablet they're gonna buy, which device they're gonna buy. And it's not to badmouth the other devices. I think that they're great in their own ways, but not all of them seem like they were for me. So I want to talk about the ReMarkable 2, the QuirkLogic Papyr, the Onyx Boox, and the Mobiscribe. And again, I don't have those devices, I just have the Supernote A6X, so I can't really compare, but just from a consumer standpoint, these are just the reasons why I didn't necessarily go with those, and I'm glad that I bought the Supernote A6X. So first, the ReMarkable 2, right? I think it's probably the best marketed one. It's definitely the one that is, I think, the most popular out of all of these devices. They did a really good job on the marketing. It seems like it's a really great size with that A5 size, and from what I can tell and the reviews online, the writing experience is really good. I think they said it's the closest thing to pencil on paper. But there are really two things that kind of turned me off. The first was the Connect plan, whether it's the most expensive one or the middle tier. It just didn't seem like something I wanted to jump into just because of how expensive the device already is, and knowing that for the rest of my use I'm going to have to pay a certain amount of money per month just to use the device. And it'd be one thing if those features were brand new and from like a certain starting point, any new feature you'd have to pay, whereas the older people could be grandfathered in. But it seems like they took away a lot of features starting now, and so it's kind of hard to buy into that, knowing that it seems like everybody else who got early to the party, they get to have all the fun stuff, but then you're kind of stuck paying for that. And so for me, I was like, it would have been nice, but I just didn't want to do that. And the second thing, and I think this is for all of them, is the upkeep costs for the little nibs on the pens. It can get kind of expensive, and from what I can see, it goes by pretty fast. Like, you wear through those things quite fast, and so it's just something I don't want to have to deal with. I don't want to keep ordering those. And that was one of the nice things about the Supernote with their ceramic tip, is that you never have to buy it again. It's just, once you buy it, it's all good. But I know that a lot of people like ReMarkable too, and that's really great. It's just, for me, in the long term, buying it now, I just feel like I missed out, and the price model to get into that is too much for how much the device costs, in my opinion. The QuirkLogic Papyr is a nice looking device. I think it looks nice, at least from what I can tell in the video. It's big, which is good, and I feel like you can read on it like big PDFs, and as a writer, it's just very, very nice. But the price is still pretty high. I think it's on sale now, but even on sale, the price is actually quite high. And I'm like, man, that's a lot. And I think they're rumoring that there's going to be a new device, either a Papyr 2 or some other device. And I just, knowing that too, it's really hard to spend that much on the old device. And again, with the upkeep of the little nibs, that's just an added cost. But I will say that they have that, I think it's called the Quilla board. It's like a huge like bright board. I think that's cool. I would love to try that, just to have that in the background. You could just like write stuff. I think that's a great thing. Unfortunately, it's like super expensive, so probably not something that I'm ever gonna buy, but that would be really awesome to try it. So I looked at Onyx Boox as well. It's an interesting company. They seem to have a lot of devices, like a lot. And as a consumer, I feel like it's almost too much. It overcomplicates something that I feel like should be fairly simple. They seem to have a lot of models that overlap, and so to me as a consumer, I don't know exactly what each one does, and it's hard for me to go out and try these things. I know that they can be used as strictly e-readers, which is great, but my needs are for something that can take notes. And so that has to be the strongest point. So the fact that it could read books and ebooks and whatever, that's good. But I don't want a device that is really strong in that, but very weak in the note taking. That to me is not a very good compromise. And also with the upkeep of little nibs, it's just not something that I want to pay for. They have so many models that kind of do all the same things, especially pushing the e-reading thing. I have a Kindle. I don't want to use another device like half for reading and half for note taking. I just want one to read, which is a Kindle. It does it really well, and then I want to have something that just takes notes. Again, I know that a lot of people like Onyx Books and all of their products. Just for me as a consumer entering this market, I'm like, whoa, okay, it's way too much. I need help here. And the last one that I looked at was the Mobiscribe Origin, which is a really small device. It's almost the same size as the Supernote, and it was something that was close primarily because of the price point. It's relatively cheap compared to everything else here. And so just based on that alone, I felt very safe entering this market of note taking. The UI seemed okay from what I saw online, but what turned me off from jumping into this market with Mobiscribe is the fact that there wasn't anything to grow into. So once I got the Origin, or if I bought the Origin, right, that seems like it would have been it. There's no other like bigger device or other things that I could have done. So although that price point is really cheap to jump into it, that's it. There's nothing else yet. But if they had a device that was bigger right now, so you could jump to the Origin and then there's something that's a little bit bigger, then I probably would have gone with them, because I would have seen that, okay, for like 200, 300 bucks, I could have gotten into this whole market, right? And tried it out and be like, okay, I like this. And then if I saw their bigger device right there, then it's like, okay, if I need it, I could have gotten it. That was one of the attractive things of Supernote, was that they have at least the two devices working at the same time, the A6X and the A5X. So with the A6X purchase, that's my entry, although it's quite expensive, into this whole market. And if I like it and I need something a little bit bigger, I know that they have something in the same system. Like I've got used to it already if I've messed with this long enough, so that upgrading or buying a bigger device won't be that big of a learning curve. And that's the thing, I didn't want to buy like several devices and have to figure out how to work each one. It's like, I just wanted one company, one brand, and just enjoy their brand. But those are my thoughts, and I ended up with the Supernote A6X, and I'm happy that I did. It's one of the best purchases I think I made in recent years, because it motivates me to write and makes writing a lot more convenient. Again, I wish I could write for an hour or two at a time, but the fact is I don't have that much free time, and I'm only able to write maybe for 15 or 20 minutes at a time. But having a device like this that I can just grab real fast, just like a notebook, just write something real down, close it, and then boom, I can move on, is really great. I wasn't quite sure about the size, and I know that some of the other brands have different sizes, bigger sizes, but for me, I'm really glad I got this size. I wasn't sure about it, but I'm glad that I got this size. So to anyone out there looking to buy one of these devices, good luck. There's a lot of choices, but also not a lot of choices. And again, I'm glad that I bought this one, but I did consider the other brands and devices. So hopefully you find this interesting if you're in the market. Good luck if you are. Thanks for watching.